I always feel a bit weird making these videos because I'm not a huge trend follower these days, but making videos in the fashion space, I'm obviously very aware of what's going on, and I do still think it's worth having a look at them because they can be a huge source of inspiration. With that being said, 2024 spawned some very noticeable trends, and today I want to talk about the ones which I think were true trends and could carry over into 2025, and those which were just short-lived hype trends and we're going to leave behind in 2024. By the way, this is all very superficial and subjective. Just because it's not popular doesn't mean it's not stylish. So I think you'll agree, one of the most prevalent returns to mainstream fashion over the past few years has been baggy pants. A lot of people predicted this trend wouldn't last long, but if anything in 2024, it was as big as ever. It goes hand in hand with the popularity of vintage 80s and 90s streetwear, but also older styles dating back to the 20s, 30s and 40s, when trousers were way more relaxed. And based on those factors, I'd say this trend is here to stay and is not just hype. But do I think we'll still be seeing it in 2025? The answer is yes. Baggy clothing as a general style genre has a huge following now, and I constantly find myself inspired by outfits with baggy clothing, even if I wouldn't wear them myself. I do think that we'll find the bagginess perhaps gets a bit tamer, somewhere closer to relaxed rather than oversized, because the fashion pendulum is eventually going to swing back to slimmer fits, but for now I don't think baggy pants are going anywhere. Another huge trend in 2024 has been cropped length tops, specifically t-shirts and button-up shirts. I think we've slowly been moving towards this trend over the past few years in menswear, as a lot of guys start to think more about outfit shape and proportions and how to dress for their body type. Shorter length tops can do wonders in that regard, and actually t-shirts, sweaters and jackets have typically been shorter in length throughout history. So just like with relaxed pants, we're almost going back to how these things were originally designed. Pair that with the virality of TikTok and Instagram, where this can be showcased, and I reckon it resulted in crop length tops really peaking in 2024, to a point where it might have actually gone a little bit too far. We're seeing some tops now which look a bit overly cropped. When you see the skin between your pants and top, it's kind of missing the point, in my opinion anyway. Of course, each to their own, wear what makes you comfortable. I personally think moderately cropped length tops are here to stay in 2025, with the overly cropped ones disappearing. One of the big trend predictions at the beginning of 2024 was metallic coloured things, and this mainly came through in the sneaker world. The most popular ones were probably the Asics Gel Kayano Legacies, the Adidas Samba Wales Bonner collabs, and the Solomon ACS Pros. This probably came about due to the rise in popularity of Y2K fashion pieces. While I still think a lot of Y2K stuff is going to stick around, I feel like the metallic shoes aspect of it will not. In my eyes, it's always been a hype trend, something that looks good in an Instagram photo, but you don't actually see people wearing them in real life. And I think a lot of that has to do with them being quite difficult to style. They just aren't versatile enough. How often are you actually going to be able to wear them? I already commented on this trend back in summer, so I don't feel the need to spend too long on this. But overall, my opinions haven't really changed. I don't think we'll be seeing many metallic coloured things in 2025. I keep hearing and reading that sneakers are dead, or at least they're declining in popularity. So are they going to disappear in 2025? Absolutely not, in my opinion. I think sneakers are dead is a bit of a myth, and a lot of it is a result of the rise in popularity of more classic shoes in everyday outfits, like loafers and derbies. I think those classic silhouettes have dominated the main page of the fashion scene in 2024 because they feel fresh again. But I really don't believe it's had any effect on the popularity of casual sneakers. I'm not a huge sneakerhead, so I don't follow specific drops, but there's probably been loads of new releases in 2024 that have sold out immediately, especially collaboration drops, which is where sneakers really thrive. And even decades-old silhouettes like the New Balance 992s are virtually impossible to get hold of outside of the USA due to the high demand. Sneaker channels are also as popular as ever, with a very strong fan base and following. So I definitely think we'll see sneakers trending in 2025 and for many years to come. Speaking of the rise of classic shoe silhouettes, we have to talk about the smart streetwear trend. I know a lot of people won't really look at this as a trend, more just a way of dressing nicely when you go out. And I'd agree with that, which is why I think we'll be seeing more of it in 2025. I think for a long time there's been a separation between casual streetwear and smarter / more formal clothing. On the casual side you'd have sneakers, jeans, baseball caps. And on the smarter side you'd have classic leather shoes, suit trousers and blazers. But in 2024 we've really seen these two styles come together and a lot of people have embraced it. Blazers with sneakers, loafers with jeans, anything goes, and it all looks really good. What I particularly love about this look is that you really get to utilise a lot more of your wardrobe. For example, things I would historically only wear to weddings or smarter events have now become everyday items for me. As I said, maybe trend isn't the right word for this, but it's definitely a popular style that's here to stay. A very specific trend we saw in 2024 was Timberland boots. Of course, Timberlands have always been popular, but with 2023 being their 50th anniversary, we saw a lot of new models and marketing push from Timberland spill over into 2024. And it did have an effect. Every time I scrolled through my Instagram feed earlier this year, I saw at least one outfit with some Tims. In my opinion though, it was a bit of a hype trend. I'm not saying anything bad about Timberland boots, I actually really like the way they look. And clearly they've stood the test of time, so you could say they're timeless. However, it was definitely one of those trends you only see online, kind of like the metallic shoes. I don't think I actually saw anyone in real life wearing Timberlands out in the open this year. That makes me think that a lot of people were just buying them to take a good photo while the hype was at its peak. I'm sure there's plenty of people who do wear them, and it will probably depend on where you live as well. No doubt they're way more popular in the US than they are in the UK. But as we come towards the end of 2024, I'm not even seeing the Timberlands on my feed anymore. So I think it's safe to say the hype has died down a bit, and I don't think it will be a big player in the 2024 fashion scene. Another trend that has been very strong over the past few years is workwear. Just like the baggy trend, I think a lot of people thought this would have died down by now. It was for sure very hypey at one point, especially with the Carhartt Detroit jackets. The hype has certainly dropped significantly in popularity in the last year or so, and the way I can tell that is because you can actually pick up vintage Carhartt jackets for a decent price now. Sometimes. And I'm still seeing brands come out with their own Detroit style jackets, double knee pants and chore coats. And a lot of people, including myself, are still very interested in those new releases. They're versatile, wearable and durable pieces, which is a big reason why they've been popular for so long. Add that to the increasing interest in vintage clothing, which is full of old workwear pieces, then you have a combination which keeps this style going even though the hype is lowered. So I think we'll still see workwear in 2025, but maybe just more sporadic pieces as part of people's rotation, rather than just pure mega hyped Detroit jackets. Possibly the biggest and definitely my favourite trend of 2024 was the Western style. We've seen a lot of brands come out with Western inspired pieces and they've proven to be extremely popular. But we're not just seeing like full-on cowboy outfits, we're seeing the Western style filter down into many other outfits. There's been a lot of double denim, bootcut jeans, plaid check shirts, cowboy boots and big buckle belts. People are picking and choosing things that work for them, and that's awesome because it's proper personal style in full swing. The great thing about the Western style is that it's adjacent to so many other things in fashion. It has a big focus on workwear, leather goods, good quality denim, Native American prints, and of course there's a rich history, so there's loads of vintage Western wear to get excited about as well. I feel like this trend could have easily been overhyped and got a bit obnoxious, but somehow it managed to remain really popular and universally accepted and liked at the same time. So on that basis, I think we'll definitely be seeing Western wear in 2025 and beyond. So there's my hot take on the trends that I think will be left behind in 2024 and the ones that I think will carry over into 2025. I probably missed loads of them, but these are the ones that were most obvious to me. The good thing about trends these days is that there really is an audience for any style at any time, and that's great. Like I said at the beginning of the video, just because something isn't really popular and on the main page doesn't mean it isn't stylish. But I do find it fascinating to see what the general public are loving and hating each season. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching this year. I hope you've had a great 2024 and I'll see you in 2025. Ta-ra.